being of service to anybody in need, which is currently me right now. For me, it's been a long journey this past 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I've been living in Costa Rica. I left Las Vegas in 2019 because I got a upload in Mount Shasta, and it told me to get out of the U.S. because it was no longer going to be safe after 2020. And that's all it told me. It said something about like martial law. It said something it didn't get specific, but it said sell all your stuff and get to Costa Rica. And I had never heard about Costa Rica before. I had never traveled anywhere alone before other than Israel, but they speak English there, and I don't know Spanish. So when I got there, I was just in shock. You know, I thought I was going to Puerto Rico, and and that they spoke English there, but they didn't. And I was supposed to go for 2 months, and I ended up staying 4 years. I ended up building my home there. I ended up, settling down there, moving all my stuff over there, building my garden, building my community, and it was pretty, just all of my dreams came true. Everything that I have worked for my whole life finally came true. And even before I, left for Costa Rica, I had an art of healing, and I got on the mic and in front of a bunch of the community, and I said, I know y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm going to Costa Rica to find us all land because it's not gonna be safe here after 2020. And everyone's just like, oh yeah, but I knew inside me that I was following Spirit's call. This wasn't just a random message I got. This was like in my brain every day, all day. And so I just listened, because what did I have to lose? At this point, the art of healing was doing really well. I felt like I had hit a capacity of Las Vegas and the community, and I felt like I did my job here, and I was ready to find new places. For me, I just went, and I had no plans. I didn't even know where I was going. And the second I got there, like, things just started falling together. My first day, a man met me, and he was like, hi, I have a huge festival yard, and I want to throw festivals. Can you help me? And I'm just like, wait, what? And it was just this like 100-acre farm, and he was like, yeah, we've done 3 festivals here. I want you to be in control of the next one. Like, we teach basically everything the art of healing does, but on a larger scale. And so it was just everything was in alignment for me, and I knew I was supposed to be there. Then I was able to overcome all of my fears. I was scared to death of bugs. I was scared to death of just like cockroaches, for example. And like the cockroaches there are literally as big as your shoes. So it's like you can't really be scared of them because you could tell they're conscious. If there's an animal that big, it's got a brain, and they are, and they're beautiful. Like the bugs there are amazing. I talk to them, they talk to me, they whisper secrets in my ears. They're conscious beings, and I didn't think that living in Vegas. I was scared of them. I was scared of a lot of things. I was scared of death, and in Costa Rica I had multiple near-death experiences, in the States as well, but in Costa Rica it was a little different because you're like in the middle of the jungle, and you're like, okay, I can't just call an ambulance right now, I gotta just breathe, and if I die, I die, and so that was a whole nother level of surrender, and really understanding that this is all an illusion, and that, like my first night there, actually, I was by myself on an off-grid farm. And even if I were to scream my loudest, nobody would hear me. And there was an earthquake. There was not a hurricane, but a tropical storm. And there were like jaguars outside of my cabin. And I started hearing babies crying. And I was like, what is going on? And then the whole house started shaking, and I'm by myself in there. So I just lit my Palo Santo, and I said, "This is it. I'm going." And I started praying, and then it stopped. I think I fainted from fear. And then I found out that we looked at the night cameras. There were jaguars outside of my room, like on the other side of like a very thin wall of my head. And the house I was staying in was actually where children were massacred. And it used to be a schoolhouse. So I was channeling the dead for the first time in my life. I had never been able to do that in Las Vegas or in the States. And so, because I asked the guys at the farm, like, what's going on? Like, I hear babies. Are there babies anywhere near, And he's like, no, that used to be a school. A lot of kids died there, da, da, da. So that really opened my mind to, like, how powerful nature really is. Because it connects you to the lower realm, the middle realm, the higher realm, the higher realm, the higher realm. It's just, nature is the most healing modality that I have ever experienced in my life. And it gives you messages, it guides you, it tells you where to go. I walk barefoot in a country where there's 28 snakes that can kill you in 3 seconds if they bite you. Or poisonous frogs. There's like 50 types of poisonous frogs that if they bite you, that you're just dead. And I've never been messed with by any animal, any bug, other than the ants and the mosquitoes. I'll kill a mosquito, but I won't kill any other bugs, like, at all, because they are conscious, and I never thought that in my mind before, because I was always in fear of them. And once I really started living there for a long time, I realized it wasn't the jungle that was scary, it was the people in the jungle that were scary. And I came there with such an open heart that I just was like, oh, you got a necklace, or you got a crystal around your neck, I can trust you, or, oh, you play djembe, let's drum. And I was just so trusting, and I was just so open-hearted, and I just wanted to learn and love and make new friends. And I did that for a very long time. And then I started my nonprofit, Colectivo, where we work with the indigenous, we work with orphanages, we work with community gardens, we work with Free the Food, where we plant fruit trees along the streets just so anybody can walk by and pick up a fruit when they want. We do a lot of cool things. We do we build wells for families that can't afford it, because it's not just good for them, but it's good for all of us that live in the neighborhood, because all their dirty water runs into our water. And so we do a lot of cool things like that. And I founded that nonprofit during COVID, because I was there during the lockdown. And I said, okay, our tax money is not going to where I agree. Like, I don't want to pay my taxes to have it go to this, and this. So how could I help not only myself, but my friends put their taxes where they want it to go, what they believe in? And I actually, the next day, I got a call from one of my old friends I hadn't talked to in 10 years. She has a nonprofit called the Everyday Hero Project, and I used to do Turtle Tuesdays like 6 years before this, where every Tuesday we would collect plastic bags around the community, and we would make plarn, and we would make mats for the homeless people. And she saw what I was doing in Costa Rica, so she offered me a nonprofit initiative. And I said, okay, let's do it, and we just started doing it. And my first festival in Costa Rica, I was approached by my biggest idol in the world, Leah Song from Rising Appalachia. She just called me and was like, can I play your festival? And I was just like, wait, what? And just things were lining up so well. So for me, I see the signs, and if things are going like that, it's like, okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Like, there's nothing bad going on here. This is all amazing. COVID was the time of my life. I got to experience so much, and I'm so grateful for that. And then I started seeing the downside of where I was staying, which was on the Pacific side of Costa Rica, which is where it's very colonized. All the indigenous are pushed back in the mountain. They're not allowed to go to where the colonizers kind of made their spot. And I started seeing a lot of shamans abusing women, I started seeing a lot of, vulnerable people going there, men and women, taking medicine to try to heal and leaving with more traumas than they came with. And for some reason, they would come to me and tell me their stories, and I would have to be their advocate and help them out. Not would have to be, I was honored to do that. But it was a lot. It was a lot, and these men were not willing to change, and it hurt my heart. So I ended up moving to the Caribbean, Costa Rica, which is on the Caribbean Sea, not the Pacific Sea. And there it's still indigenous, so it's not bought out yet. It's very raw. It's very Rasta culture. It's it's not colonized. Let's just say that. Like, the indigenous still run it, and it's Afro-Caribbean, and it's the Bree community, which are like the Indians, and then the Afro-Caribbean are like the Africans that come from Jamaica. And so I fell in love there, and I did my first festival there on 11/11 with my ex, who actually was the one who ended up trying to kill me. So this is my closure for that opening of the portal. So this was 11/11/2021, and we did an indigenous event. It was beautiful. He offered me a piece of land because I did not want my money in the bank. I saw what was happening to the money system, and I said, I just want a piece of land. I want a house. I want my own garden. I want to be self-sustainable, and I don't want to deal with nothing anymore. Like, I just want to live peacefully. And he said, oh, I've got that for you, And, I so badly wanted to just fall in love and have a family. So badly, and so I just, even with all the red flags, I wanted to be there so bad that I didn't see them. I saw them, but I didn't want to see them. I didn't listen. And there were so many red flags that now when I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. But at the same time, I needed to go through this experience because I needed to learn that, I'll get there. I needed to learn a lot, because what ended up happening is that after I paid him for the land and for the house, I had to build the house myself. So my goal was to go to Costa Rica and learn how to live sustainably, but I didn't realize I was gonna actually have to build the house and varnish my own floors and build my own furniture and do all the electricity and make the roof, and I had to do everything. And I'm so grateful for that, because now I know how to build a house. And I would not have known that if our plan would have gone through as it should have in court, or legally, I should say. And for me, it was basically I finally had my dreams come true. I was homeless since the age of 15. My parents were drug addicts, so I left the house at 15 years old. I graduated high school at 15, and I started living on my own, homeless. Never had a real home, never had a steady anything, just bouncing around nomadic, and I finally just wanted to ground down. I felt like I deserved that because I was exhausted, and I wanted to have a bedroom door I could shut, and my own sheets I could crawl into. And I finally had that, so all my dreams had come true. And that was last year on my birthday, was when the house was finished. And that day he called the cops on me and tried to get me deported because he knew I was illegal, because he stole my passport. And he wanted to steal all of my stuff, and the cops down there just don't really do anything at all. They just show up and they give you a piece of paper and they just say go to court, and they're all paid off to just be corrupt and don't do anything. So what they do out there is they do hits. They kill you, and that's just how it is. And for me, I didn't think it was going to get to that level, because I felt like my frequency was so high that a low frequency like that could not reach me. But at the end of the day, I'm a single girl in the middle of the jungle, and I've got a machete, that's what I've got, and my dog, and he's not mean or anything. So a whole year I was fighting a silent battle, and I didn't go tell any friends, I didn't tell any of my family. I just fought for my life. 2 different times he tried to kill me by chopping a large tree onto my house, like huge ceiba tree. I don't know if you guys ever seen a ceiba tree, but they're about as wide as like maybe 2 cars, and like probably like 10 stories high, maybe more. And my roof is made of leaves and bamboo. So he did that one time, and then I fixed the roof, and I was like, I'm not leaving, I'm standing my ground. Okay, red flag number 1. And then he did it again once my roof was fixed, and this time it almost killed me and my dog. And so that's when I started listening to my intuition, and I said, okay, this isn't safe. Like, I'm not going to be this stubborn and try to stand my ground just because I invested all of my money into this. My life is more important. And so I decided to go stay at a hotel down the road and start doing festivals there as an exchange to stay there and this and that, because he had stolen all my money at this point. He had stolen 3 of my cars, he stole my house, he stole all my belongings, and I had nothing. I had my drums, my handpan, and a couple outfits, and my herbs. And so I went to this hotel, and he started following me and watching my routines. And so I would go to the beach every morning and meditate. And one morning I was on the beach meditating with my dog, because I would host morning meditations for the clients at the hotel, but I would meditate first. And he sent a man with 2 pit bulls to come kill me and my dog. And they almost did, but luckily I've been through a lot of injuries and brain injuries, and I was able to navigate not dying through that. I ended up having to get a bunch of stitches in my face and my lip. I currently have a broken nose, broken eye socket, and a traumatic brain injury that I'm just seeing the last stages of. But I had to leave everything behind. I had to leave my court case behind, I had to leave my house behind, I had to leave my cars behind, every single thing I owned behind, because I had to fight for my life, because I was dying, and so was my dog. And I had been to like 6 hospitals in Costa Rica, and I don't know if you guys have been to hospitals in countries in Central America, but they're not like they are here. They're very understaffed, they don't have enough beds, they don't have medicine, they don't treat you nice, the customer's not always right. It's crazy. Like, for example, I was in the emergency room, and the guy next to me had his hand cut off with a machete, and he was just sitting there on his phone scrolling Instagram, and the other guy had a gunshot, and he was just hanging out with his wife. And I'm like, oh God, I look like a baby right now. I'm sitting here crying because of my broken nose, and these guys are just like, whatever, and so it really put into perspective for me, like, I need to go back to the States, like this, to get real help, because, it just wasn't being offered there. And so I just got a call one day from the CIA, and they called me and they said, don't talk, just listen. And I said, okay. They didn't tell me they were the CIA. They just told me that they were Department of Defense. And they said, we're coming to get you, we're coming to rescue you. Are you gonna be ready by tomorrow? And I said, no, I can barely walk. Like, I can't even see straight right now. I need like a week at least. And so they said, okay, we'll be there in a week to pick you up. Here's the code word, da, da, da. And I said, shit, okay. At this point, I was like, I had no choice. So I had them come, and they were everything but the DOD. They ended up just parting and making things a lot worse for me, and then leaving me out there alone by myself for a week with a brain injury, no money, no passport, and I had to get myself out of there when I couldn't even think straight or even see my phone, because I'm still seeing triples, so it's very difficult for me to look at my phone, but then it was way more difficult. So they left me out there and promised me they were going to come back for me, and they never did. And I said, okay, I'm going to do this myself. And anyways, long story short, I got here, I did pass out on both flights because I had to fake a letter from the hospital saying that I was clear to fly because I was not clear to fly because I would have needed oxygen, and I just needed to get out of there because I was getting so many death threats, and I was afraid that they knew where I was because they were telling me they knew where I was, you know. It's a small country. And so anyways, for me, it taught me a lot. First, it taught me attachments. When I sold everything and moved there, it was one of the hardest things I ever had to do because it was all my stuff, you know. But losing that attachment, I worked so hard. For a whole year, I built that house with my blood, sweat, and tears, literally. Every corner piece in that house, I built. My project, my dream, every plant, you know, my baby, I talk to them, I sing to them. So having to leave that was just so heartbreaking. I mean, it's still mine, but it's not safe for me to go back there, you know, until he's in jail or something like this. So I had to just put it all to an end and focus on my personal health. And it really taught me because at this, you know, this past year, I haven't been able to help these orphans that I sponsor. I haven't been able to help the indigenous because I've needed help. So I really learned a lot by, you know, receiving, because I was always giving. And as I'm a alternative medicine practitioner and an herbalist, and I'm always giving. You know, I'm never receiving a massage. I'm never receiving healings. And so it really taught me a lot about that, to ask for help and be open to receiving, because I had never once in my life asked for help before. And when I did, I received. And it was just so, like I felt guilty for it almost, you know, like I don't deserve this. But then at the same time, I'm like, wait, I've helped so many people. Yes, I do, you know. And it really like opened my mind to, it's an energy flow. When you're of service to those who are in need, when you are in need, you will be taken care of. And I have been. Even when I was in Costa Rica, I had people, complete strangers, bringing me juice in the morning, bringing me dinner at night, taking me to the pharmacy or whatever, you know, completely, I didn't even know them. The guys who came to rescue me, I didn't know them, you know, and I'm grateful they still came, you know, like, because they did help me pay for an Airbnb or whatever, you know, like, I'm just counting my blessings at this point, because I'm just grateful to be alive, because I know that if this would have happened to somebody that was not me, that wasn't as connected as I am in Costa Rica, and knowing so many people, and like, you know, I know a lot of the police, I know a lot of the taxi drivers, I know a lot of everyone, you know, retreat owners, so I could say, hey, can I stay at your retreat? So if it wasn't me, I don't think they would have survived. So I know that this is why it happened to me, because the men who came to rescue me work with sex trafficking. They rescue children. So they didn't really understand how to deal with domestic violence. They've only seen like combat and like cartel mode. So like, and so with me, I got to actually teach them like, hey, you can't be yelling at me right now, like, or just little things like that. And it was for me eye-opening. For them, they didn't like it very much. They didn't like being told what to do, but I wasn't telling them what to do. I was just saying, in my opinion, like what you just said was hurt me, you know, or whatever. It just, you know, things like this. And but they weren't open to receiving, so that's okay. I'm okay with that. But what I did learn is that once you ask for help, you will receive. And you just have to be open to it. And for such a long time, I wasn't open to it because it was my ego. Like, my ego would not let me ask for help at all. I would go like weeks without eating, months without eating. And I could have just probably called a friend and been like, hey, I need some food, you know, but my ego would not let me, because I don't know why. I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, the ego is like, no, you're an independent woman, you're strong, you don't need anybody, you know. And for me, like, that was my whole life. I've always taken care of myself. I've never had a boyfriend. I've never had parents that take care of me. I'm the one who feeds myself. I'm the one who houses myself, you know. And yeah, so that was a big like ego death, you know. And for me, it was amazing. So for me, like, if it wasn't like for me going through these experiences, I really don't think I would be here right now. because I would be still in Costa Rica and I'd probably be dead because I had hit on me. You know, I had people trying to kill me in a very small town. So if this dog did not bite me in the face and almost kill me, and it's maybe just another tree fell in my house, I would have gotten killed. So I looked up the spiritual meaning of dogs biting me in the face. And it means that they are warning you that trouble is coming, and that they're warning you to listen to your intuition and to move, just to move. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I've never been bit by a dog before. And I used to breed pit bulls. I trained service dogs. Like I've been in so many dog fights. I've never been bit. And so I'm like, well, what the heck does this mean? You know, and it was just such a like divine meaning that I was just like, okay, I'm going home. That's it. I'm going home. The second I said that, my friend from Rising Appalachia, Leah, called me. She goes, Valerie, what the heck are you doing out there still? You need to get back to Las Vegas. What are you doing? You know, you're only so strong until you can't be anymore. And she's like, you know, like sent me a bunch of different resources that helped me a lot, you know, with hotels, you know, like getting to the new passport, things like this. And it was I just had to surrender to it. And then all this help just started flowing in. And yeah, that just really taught me a lot. And for me, like, let's see, you know, I finally had built my dream home and all the things I ever wanted in life. You know, I had 3 cars, and I hadn't had a car since I was like 18. So that was like awesome for me. I had a city car, a rental car, and then like a 4x4 car, you know. So I was just so proud of myself, and then I watched it all crumble right in front of me, you know. And I don't say like yes, I was a victim at the time, but I don't think I'm a victim right now because I feel like more of a survivor. And I feel like, yeah, at the time I was a victim of a crime, but like for me, like I feel like a warrior now because like now I have escaped death once more time, and it's because of my strength and my determination. I know I have a mission here, and I know that if I die, then you know it's supposed to be that way, but I know I'm not supposed to die like that. You know what I mean? I just knew it. I knew I had to fight for my life at that time. And yeah, so right now I just intend to heal and share my story because releasing this attachment has been very difficult for me, like extremely difficult. I have not been doing well mentally, and I haven't felt this way in a very long time. I've been crying nonstop. I've been like bad, not eating, not even like sleeping. I mean, I have to sleep a lot because of my brain injury, you know, because I'm healing still. But like, yeah, I'm going through depression, and it's hard to admit that because you want to be strong and you want to, you know, not show your weakness. But we all have the dark and the light. You have to go through the shadows to embrace the light. You can't just be up here all the time and not experience here because you can't. You have to have the balance. You have to have the balance. And for me, my life lessons have always been very difficult. That's just how it is. I've been through some crazy shit, and you know, that's just how I have to learn because I'm hard-headed. I don't know why, and I choose not to have those lessons anymore. And I will not allow that in my life anymore. And it took this happening for me to say that for me to affirm that these are not the lessons that I allow in my life anymore. I allow more genuine, peaceful, calm, you know, less aggressive lessons happening, and I will listen this time. You know, the first tree, I'll listen. So, you know, for me, it was just such a big thing, and such a big trauma too, because for me, like I just shared that I started my nonprofit because I want to help other people, and I look at these kids in Africa and they're so hungry, and I'm like, I can't send them money because I need to eat, you know. And so that hurt me more than anything, you know, like just seeing these kids and being like, because of this all happening, I can't do what I came here to do. And that for me was more saddening than anything, and the whole thing, because I know what I came here to do, and that's to be of service. And because I've been through so much, I can relate to a lot of most people. I've been through mostly everything in my life, and so that puts me in a great position to be able to meet people at their level and help them move through processes and learn different ways of healing modalities to heal themselves. And I can say this helped me when I was going through that, try it out or whatever, and I believe that that's a great strength. I believe that that's one of the best like magic alchemist tricks you can have, and just being able to point people in a direction that they're welcome to take or they're welcome to not take, but at least opening that door. Because when I was needing that help, I had nobody opening that door. I had to find all this out for myself. I had to find out herbalism for myself. I had to find out everything, spirituality, crystals, the whole shebang. I had to learn myself. And so for me, I think the youth is waking up right now, and right now is a beautiful time for all of us who have been doing this for so long and have been through the hard lessons, have been through the traumas, and have learned through the traumas to step into our power and start helping this youth, because this generation that is growing up right now is very, very, I don't want to say ungrounded, I don't even know if that's a word, but they're trying to be better. They don't have the proper materials. They don't have the proper, they're on social media. They don't have, they're not coming to events like this. And like for me, I want to start going and working with children here. I work in Costa Rica with children, but here I want to go to the orphanages. And what I would do in Costa Rica is we would do healing days. We'd give them massages. We would play music for them. We would do like obstacle courses, face painting, and they had so much fun, So like for me, that's one of my goals when I start feeling better is to start working with the orphanages here, because, it's there's a lot. Let's just say that there's too many. And for me, like if they can just have one day of having fun, and if I could have fun with them, that's great. I love that. So yeah, so now, I'm back to where I started. Lesson learned: no money, homeless, carless. And I couldn't be happier. I'm starting a new beginning. I'm starting a new chapter, and with a clean slate. And this is a new chapter of my life's journey. And I'm so grateful that you guys are all here listening to me tell my story for the first time. It gets way more in depth, but I'm not going to bore you all. But one thing the biggest lesson I learned was to always listen to the signs that the universe provides to us, whether that be through a dream, a little, a fly buzzing by your ear, and you just get this thought in your head, and you're like, where'd that come from? These are all messengers to us. So listening to that is so important, because the universe will force you to listen to the point where you have no choice but to listen, just like me. It was like, oh, you ain't gonna leave with that tree? Okay, you're not gonna leave with that tree? Okay, let's make you leave. And that showed me like, wow, I forgot how to listen, because that's why I'm here in Costa Rica, from listening. So what the heck, it was the ego. It was the ego. So, for me, I'm just, let's see, I'm grateful. I'm moving through a lot right now. I'm so grateful for you guys all listening and just being here and spending your day with us, and just really just supporting, because there are a lot of people in need, and if we can continue to have these events, we can continue to help a lot of people with just our arts and just our music and our fun, and this is what we do. So now that I'm back here in Vegas, we'll be doing a lot more of these, Art of Healing, and just feel free to reach out if you want to be supportive, and we always pick different nonprofits. And it doesn't have to be a nonprofit. It could just be like, hey, somebody needs a surgery, or someone's going through cancer and needs help. So if any of you guys want to be a part of it, it's called just Colectivo, because it's a collective of people. So if you guys want to be a part of it, if you guys have any ideas about it, if you guys say, hey, this guy needs help or whatever, we're open to it. We're open to inviting you to be a part of us, because it's for all of us. It's not just my nonprofit, it's all of ours. So I thank you guys for being here, and I thank you guys all for taking the time out of your day to work on yourself and to learn something new, and to connect to source and listen to my ass talk for too long. But I just thought it was important that I could share what came out of that trauma, and how I was able to actually overcome it, because It was a trauma, I will tell you that. Brain injury, seeing triples, and not knowing Spanish, and trying to get yourself out of a third world country with no passport. Very difficult. So I'm grateful to be here today, and I'm grateful you guys are all here. Yeah, that's about sums it up. Any questions? You guys all look a little scared.
I want to thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your journey so vulnerably and openly. You are such a gift in my world specifically. You're such a gift to community, and I really thank you for persevering and coming back and doing even more. This is incredible.
Thank you so much, sister. I love you. Thank you for being here and supporting as always. I think you've been to every single Art of Healing. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for the community here. Yeah, I wouldn't have made it without the community here. I wouldn't have made it back, that's for sure. That's beautiful.
I think I want to add to it all the trauma we're all going through, the absolute vile things that are going on all over the world, and the deaths and everything. There's a lot to do. It's time to be open-hearted, open-minded, and actually all start breaking down society. It's a big job.
Yes, and we are feeling it collectively too. Like for me, my last name is Cohen, so I am very deeply connected into the 12 tribes of Israel. So it actually happened like the same weekend that like the new war, I guess, started over there. And I was like, wow, this is like deeper than I even know. Like, you know, this is a war inside my body, but there's also a war inside my home, my mother, like my mothership, you know, and that really brought a lot into perspective that we are all feeling the pain that everybody's going through, and we must remain strong. We have no choice, because if we don't, we'll just, you know, we'll die. I mean, you know, that for me, I'm not afraid to die, but I think we have a lot to share. We really do, and we all have our heads on straight, and there are some people who really could use our help right now, and they don't know how to ask, just like I didn't. They don't have the resources to ask, and I would love for us all to be that resource for them and that help for them, because so many people are waking up and going, what the heck do I do? You know, and so I would love to invite you all to step into your power, and even if you only know a little bit about a subject, but you know enough to hold a 30-minute talk, you know, share.
Absolutely,
you know?
that is so important that we share, that we're honest, we tell the truth, we deny the liars, and there's a lot of them. This affects the whole world.
Yeah.
I have a huge history in DB, huge, but I hadn't done it in Las Vegas, and now I've seen so much. I'm like standing up, be counting, talk about it, share the truth, and we can make change.
Absolutely. We are the change we've been waiting for. We just really need to step into our power, and I see you all here today.